the pimps in the crib, ma. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the pigs try to get at you, park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. And if a get an attitude, pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. I got the rollie on my arm and I'm pouring Sean down and I'm full of best cause I got it going on.
I'm a nice dude with some nice dreams. See these ice cubes, see these ice creams.
Love all men of good faith equally. No, that's in the Quran. Oh my God. The Quran. Love all men of good faith equally. And I've been talking a little bit about the sameness of religion. But today I'm going to talk about something a little more interesting to some people. I'm going to talk about my man, my homie Scromy. You old people, we say, my homie Scromy. My nigga. Like my real absolute, you know what I mean? Like people, there's certain people that stay with you when struggle comes. Other people disappear. You know, you don't judge them for it, but you realize they can't, they don't have the courage to stand up when you need them. And that is okay. Everybody doesn't have the same amount of courage. A lot of people don't get involved in other people's struggle. They get involved in their success. And that, it's okay. So I gave so-and-so this, and when I needed it, he didn't give me nothing. Well, give love, don't expect anything in return, and God will find other ways for you to get your due. Always. That's kind of what happens. So I want to talk about one of my heroes. There he is. There he is. My motherfucking hero right there. There he is. Today, Snoop, I wanted to talk about two things. One is your brother, Warren G. Oh, look at it. It's spinning. It's your brother, Warren G. And I want to work with you on getting his masters or a piece of them to help him. You know, we don't want artists to be retiring like football players. Their music's still playing. The football player ain't still running. Sure. But Warren's music, I still hear it. I heard it the other day in a cafe here, you know? So a piece of it can come back to him if the record business is just and fair. And I'm working. I already called everybody at Def Jam, but we could keep pushing. So I know that's something you and Warren have been working on, and I care for Warren very much. He really saved my company. You know, before I sold it, he saved it.
Definitely. Well, you know, when we get into the latter stages of our career, we don't really have benefits set up for us. We don't really have a retirement plan or have things of that nature set up. So some of the work that we've done, you know, we try to go back and, you know, make peace with that and try to get the piece of the pie so that way we can survive off of it like these companies do, like how they manage to make money years and years after the family dies. I mean, the artist dies and the family sits around waiting on trying to get, you know, a few dollars. So we just want to try to put things in the proper perspective. And we're glad that you're working with us and giving us the opportunity to even try to seek those masters. Well,
I think that there must be some partnership. I talked to Holliston and some of the people at Def Jam, some of the senior people. We got to go to Lucien. Lucien's got a message. He was very sick from corona. But we're going to keep pushing. And I think that Warren G will get some of his due. We're going to make it our business. And the next thing is, aside from me staying on that, I want to get you some stem cells. They got, my nigga, let me tell them, because if you get stem cells, they build up your lungs, because I want you to live long. I want you to live forever.
That nigga Snoop is going to live long.
He's smoking, though, right now.
No,
so.
but it's good shit he's smoking. That's the good shit.
You know what, Russ, you know, you and my son on the same page, because my son told me a few things. My oldest son, he was like, you should stop doing this and stop doing that. So I stopped eating meat for a day or two, and I actually felt better.
Well, you will if you stop eating meat. The arteries, you know, you get dementia, you get hypertension, you get heart disease, you get diabetes. You don't get diabetes from sugar. Well, you know, processed sugar, but regular sugar from fruit and all that. So it's all animal product, you know, and the fact that you feel better when you do those days, it's all right. All you do is have these experiences. You know, I used to sniff cocaine until my brains blew out, like not sleep for days, smoke a lot of water. And then I used to wake up in the mornings when I didn't get high, say if I just fell asleep, maybe too high from the day before. But anyway, I fell asleep and I wake up clear-headed and I felt better. And so it's hard to do that every day, but then after you do it a little bit of a routine, you wake up and you don't want to go back. So that's how people get off certain things. But I think you got a pretty good life. I watch you work out. I watch you take care of yourself. But the only thing I would say is the stem cells for your lungs will strengthen and fight the scar tissue so you can smoke into your, because you may not quit smoking. But you can.
I'm going out.
I'm going out like, well, I mean, I'm going to try to push you to go on a fast with me when I start my process.
When he comes to Bali, you get him on the.
When I come to Bali, when you come to Bali, nigga, I'm building a Snoop Dogg house.
It's one of the first.
Nigga, I'm building a house. Do you know that?
First in Bali.
The first of the houses I built on Samadhi Circle, beside my own house, which is built, and the hotel.
It was inspired by Snoop.
Because I was inviting Snoop, and I said, this nigga not going to stay in the Ming Lee suite.
No.
Or he not going to stay in the Yoki Lee suite. This is a grown-ass man. He got a wife, you know.
No, it's Snoop.
So we built a house for you under your name. But I didn't call for that, Snoop. I called to tell you that I want to celebrate you, and I want the Hip Hop Museum. Maybe they can call you at some point. They're really working. They've been working for years. And there's a guy named DJ Rock before they were rap records. Me and him used to fight over DJ Hollywood and Eddie Cheap and the original rappers. There were no rap records. And this nigga would give parties. And sometimes he'd give a party next to me. And, you know, I'd have Eddie Cheap and he'd have Hollywood. And we'd both be sold out. And niggas be sneaking in each other's party. And they'd shoot out what happened in the street. We kept shit clean inside. But the point is, that was my man. And I watched him work his ass off, kid. And now he's building a 55,000-foot museum. Are you in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? You are.
No, I'm not.
Him and LL Cool J. That's why.
That's a mistake.
This is why we building our own fucking museum. Because Snoop fucking Dogg is not in.
They got the order wrong. First of all, you got to take care of the greats before me, and then you got to get to me. And sometimes they be going out of order because they be trying to be politically correct instead of being, musically correct.
Snoop, you're so humble, man. A nigga that come from where you come from and carry that kind of humility is beautiful. That's an evolution, man. Because I'm going to tell you something. As a person seeing it from the very beginning, you belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yesterday. You and LL Cool J belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yesterday.
Long time ago. Not
so, I like the NWA is there, and I like that a lot of people are there. Ice Cube could be. I mean, whatever. Whoever's there, it's great. But you don't need, 20 white men sitting in a room deciding which niggas go in the Hall of Fame. Fuck the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We build our own. And we're building our own now. Right. Construction is going on. And they're going to get to your era. Your era is now. See, you and Buster is about a couple of you niggas that just never die. You still hot as fire right now. And you've been around a couple weeks. A lot of niggas come and go, and they've been great. And they deserve to be celebrated. But it's like you still playing in the game, but you belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I just want to tell you that I know that.
Well, let's make that push for it right now.
We're going to push for it.
Right now.
We're going to push for it. When the building opens, there'll be a big celebration of his.
Say that Snoop must go into the Rock.
I'm not the chairman.
You don't have to be the chairman. It's the people's power, man.
But the chairman was the president, Def Chairman. Rocky is my nigga. And we're going to make sure that Snoop is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Him and Dre. And LL Cool J.
To me, I respect the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I would rather, and I would dearly respect the Hip Hop Hall of Fame.
That's my
more than anything. You get what I'm saying? What y'all building, because it's from the culture and it's from people who actually understand the roots and the essence. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is called Rock and Roll because it was built for. We just don't happen to break.
No, stop saying crackers, Gary.
We broke that wall down to where our music is more popular than rock and roll now, so they have to submit. Rock and roll was the most popular.
Or we can build our own. And we can build our own. Snoop, I'm going to take a break. Not really take a break, I'm saying, but I want to just play some Snoop. I want to play your first. 187 was the one that really, first time I really this is my, genius. 187, right?
The first song that everybody ever heard me on was off the Deep Cover soundtrack.
Deep Cover. All right, we're going to play that.
Because I'm going deep cover, and don't stop. Cause it's 187 on an undercover car. And don't stop. Cause it's 187 on an undercover car. Creep with me as I crawl through the hood. Maniac, lunatic, call him Snoop Eastwood. Kicking dust as I bust police. And And you never hear me hollering about peace. So yo, you should know I don't care for a cop. So why would you really ever think that it would stop? Plot, yeah, that's what we's about to do. Take your ass on a mission with the boys in blue. Dre, what up, Snoop? Yo, I got the feeling. Tonight's the night like Betty White, and I'm chilling, killing, feeling, no remorse, yeah. So let's go straight to the undercover source and see what we can find. Crooked cops that pop us and give us a gang of time. And now they wanna make a deal with me. Scoop me up and put me on their team and chill with me. And make my pockets fat. They wanna meet with me tonight at 7 o'clock. So what's up with that? What you wanna do?
What you wanna do?
I got the gauge, a Uzi, and my nickel plated 22. So if you wanna blast, fool, we can buck 'em. If we stick 'em, then we stuck 'em. Well, it's on.
I want to play a lot of your music. I don't know. I don't need but a few minutes for you to have a double, a triple, or quadruple session. You know, you've done so. Go ahead.
I want to play a record, though, that I played for you in the back of a limousine one time when I was in New York. And I came out there, and we was talking about Fat Farm and some other shit, but I had played you a record, and it was like a homage record, paying tribute to some rappers from New York. It was New York, New York. And you was like, man, that's a great record. He was like, go and put that shit out. So we put it out. But by the time we put it out, it was a lot of misconfusion, a lot of misunderstanding, and it looked as if we was disrespecting as opposed to paying respect to the great New York, New York.
City of dreams and everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You might get fooled if you come from out of town, but I'm down by law and I'm from the dog. And too much, I serve too many people, too much. It's too much, I serve too many people. And when I finish serving, it won't be no secret. New York, big city of dreams and everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You might get fooled if you come from out of town, but I'm down by law and I'm from the dog. And too much, I serve too many people, too much. Too much, I serve too many people. And when I finish serving, it won't be no secret.
But wait, Snoop, let me say this. When the beef broke out, you know, a lot of people, they don't realize you out the hood, nigga. I know you got the hood in your head still, but you're out the hood, and now you can look back and see where there's some inconsistencies and some inequalities and some reasons that niggas is doing dumb shit, and you could just be a little voice, and you can't just judge them and, you know, like you never judged them. You just say, nigga, don't, you know, you and your man Nipsey Hussle, you were Nipsey's father. All that beautiful stuff that came out of his mouth is because he looked up to you. So all those beautiful things, that wisdom that you give back to the hood. And even then, as a young man, you can see it in the movie, niggas was like, I ain't got no problem with them. And I remember we went to Minister Farrakhan's house to squash the beef. And the next week or so, you were on TV with Puff. Just to avoid, you know, the poison. You know, like why? Why young black men who getting money got to fight, and you, not because you, and the thing about you, Snoop, this is what I was saying before you got on. The courage. You ain't scared. Nobody don't scare you. Niggas didn't never scare you. And so you said what you wanted to say, and you said, I ain't got no beef with them. They ain't. And you said that on the radio. And a lot of people were mad at you on the West Side because they just was angry and they wanted to fight about something because they ain't have nothing. I mean, that's not a good reason to fight. That's a good reason to build. But some people resort to fighting because they ain't got nothing. And Snoop said, I ain't got no problem with them niggas. They ain't never did nothing to me. And that was beautiful, Snoop. And you did that as a hero, or as an original, because the rest of the niggas wasn't thinking like you. So,
Right.
Yeah, New York was a great example. You made that record.
Man, and I was told that, you know, from talking to some of my ancestors, that I'm one of the grandkids of the slaves that they couldn't kill. So my courage is a little bit different because I cut from a different cloth. I'm one of them ones that wasn't going for that shit back in the days. You know what I'm saying? You know, one of them slaves that got away, that broke away, started his own revolution, that showed how to fight back. If we move, we better.
Well, you definitely that, Snoop. And, you know, I see that you also branch out into so many things. I see you invested in Beyond Meat.
Yes, sir.
You know, you see, I mean, I talk a lot about that. I got the picture behind me and all that, but I really want to save lives because I lost so many friends. I lost at least 14 friends to COVID. And I lost them because of their diet, because they had all of these pre-existing health conditions. And so I want to try to change our people to get different habits. Because once you get a good habit, it feels good. You keep doing it. It ain't really every day you got to be so resilient. Every day you got to be so, it's just a natural thing. You look for what feels good. If you do good, you take your kids to school, you drop them off, you be like, and once you drop them niggas off, you're like, oh, I did my job. I did God's work. You do the right work.
That's a fact, because my whole life I've been real athletic. I played sports, but I never fucking liked working out or hitting the gym. But when I started hitting the gym from talking to Wiz Khalifa, who turned me on to the gym, my young homie, we was on stage together, and we used to take our shirts off. And I used to be bigger than him, and then all of a sudden, a few months later, this motherfucker was bigger than me, had more wind than me, and more everything, and I'm competitive. So he was like, I go to the gym. And once I started going to the gym, it was a struggle in the beginning, but once it started feeling good, it's like I do that shit when I want to now, not because I have to.
Makes you feel good when you finish it. I go to hot yoga every day, kid. You go in there, it's 190 billion degrees in that bitch. You walk in, and then you sweat like a slave. You take that shower, and you come out of there like in heaven because your circulation is flowing, and you're cleaning out your arteries, and you're cleaning out your mind, and you feel better. So you do things because when you get to know it and it becomes a habit, so then you don't have to be, so they say, oh, he's got so much resilience. He's so, no, it's your habit. You do it because it feels good, but you got to start somewhere, and it may not feel good in the beginning, but you got to keep doing it. Just like you find food over a period of time that adds up to, you feel better and you realize it's the food that got you there.
Right.
So Snoop, we talk about doing an album. I know it's a secret. I don't know if I should say it.
No, not right.
China?
Not right.
No. Okay. But, because I built a company, you know that, for all of Asia, and I want to help make sure that we don't leave our money on the table all over Asia. And I feel like the white men in the suits are not managing black artists or even bringing them up. The agents from the agencies that represent them in America got one man in China who can't even speak Mandarin. I got 30 people in China that all speak Mandarin, and they love Snoop. So things like that, I want to try to build bridges and try to help our people make money where their influence is. So that's because those athletes a lot of times transcend very well in foreign markets. Basketball players, soccer players, and sometimes they don't maximize the strength of what they can do because they don't have the right agents to put them in those powerful positions. But once you start traveling the globe and seeing how much the African man is respected and loved and appreciated, then you start to know the value of being able to, take your business outside of America and, get some of them global dollars. I'm going to open up offices in different parts of Africa. We're working with, because of COVID, everything slowed down, but we definitely want to, because when I joined the company and I put my money in, we had 11 offices.
Well, you got a big...
And 13, now that we have one in New York and one in LA. But I got in there just to build the bridges so I could take our people, Naomi Campbell and Kyle, the basketball player, your man, Guzman, and, and find stuff for them in places that the white guy in the suit is not really focused on them properly, but maybe I can. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, you got something big to announce soon, coming up soon. That is going to really help.
I have an announcement soon, but I'm not worried about that. I mean,
but that's going to help that big gap.
I want to know from Snoop, because I see he's been political. He's been involved in the social change of his community. I want to know what's on your mind. Like, what do you think in the future of our people now that Joe Biden's in office? What you think?
I think that we need to have a new generation of politicians being bred. We breed a lot of athletes and entertainers and musicians. We need to start breeding politicians so we can understand what these laws and legislation things mean to us before the election. So it won't be such a scramble at the end and you voting with emotions. Because a lot of times we have no information, so we just base, the vote on, emotions or what we were taught and what we were told. Like the dynamics of knowing politics is having people who come from your community who can explain it to you, who can give you that information, teach you, spread it, and continue to grow. Just like the athletes and the entertainers. We breed those because we know at the end of the day that there's success behind that. There's success behind being politicians. We just need more of them. We need to start, making kids know that it's okay to be a politician at an early age, to try to figure out what it takes to be, a senator or a governor or a mayor or even the president, because we can be anything now.
the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the pigs try to get at you, park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. And if a get an attitude, pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. I got the rollie on my arm and I'm pouring Sean down and I'm full of best cause I got it going on.
I'm a nice dude with some nice dreams. See these ice cubes, see these ice creams. Eligible bachelor, $1 million bow. That's whiter than what's in your throat. The phantom, exterior like fish eggs. The interior like it's red. I can exercise you. This could be your phys ed. Cheat on your man, man. That's how you.
Snoop, listening to you, and I think about the generational curses that people hand down from father to son. You know, you're building a beautiful legacy of breaking. You know, we come from a certain part of the hood. You're different. I came from before you, but the gangs, I was in a gang. Nigga, if one gun went off, everybody scattered. We ain't had no guns. One nigga had a gun in the 7 Immortals. I was in the Immortals, Herbie, and if Herbie ain't show up, we had problems. And if we didn't need them, because we really didn't need no guns, because they didn't have no guns in the Black Skulls. Nigga, they had bats and shit. But when a gun go off, but you came up, kid, nigga, I watched the movies and be like, my heart hurt. I watch Men's Society, like, these young, stupid motherfuckers, they'll do anything, right? So you grew up in an era where they passed the guns around, they gave away. By the time crack came and they started selling crack in our communities, I was just getting out of it, you know what I mean? So I missed the stupidity that they put in our communities. You come from
I was a dealer, Russ, and the thing was I had a 9 to 5. I was working in the grocery store, and I was coming home late every night, and my homies would be outside and selling dope. And one day my homie was like, "Cuz, how much money you be getting paid working at Lucky's?" I'm like, "Shit, I be getting like $85 a week on my check." And I was happy as a motherfucker. That nigga pulled out like 3 G's and was like, "Nigga, I be..." You know what I'm saying? This nigga living right in front of my... So the next day he gave me 3 rocks. He told me, he gave me 5 rocks and said, "Bring me back 50. Them motherfuckers went so fast. I was like, shit, I done made $50 in 15 minutes. So it was like the brainwash was from a young man having a 9 to 5, coming home to a gang-affiliated neighborhood where really I'm not involved. You know, they my homies. I'm not really gang-banging affiliate like that. But once I jump on the dope gang, it's full-fledged. You got to be it all now. You got to do everything. You got to have a gun. You got to be able to watch niggas that's gonna jack you. You got to watch these bitches. You got to. So it's like the antennas of the game changed once that was inserted because you had to learn fast.
It's very sad, man, that they did what they did to our community. They don't never take responsibility for having sold crack to our community. They never take responsibility. You know, it's why, and I always say be nice, and just say things so people can digest it. It's why we call white man, we called you the devil for a reason. Not because you individuals are devils, but the collective behavior.
Their action.
Not the individual I'm talking. The collective behavior was so hurtful to our community.
And
Snoop survived.
And still is.
And still is institutional racism and what the police unions are doing to protect police.
Tie, but they're still fucked up. They're still Uncle Tom.
So there are many whites now marching in the street and who want to see change. And they came together with us and voted out Trump, which it should have been easy, but it was harder than we thought. But we still got work to do. We got to have institutional changes that make it easier for us to come up out of the hood, that our houses have value, that our communities have health care, that our communities have equal high quality education, that there's so much we need. And we should just keep our heads down, smile and breathe and push for it. Don't be angry. Because even now in our transition, being angry is not going to help us. And then if you're graceful, some of the people who might have thought they were one way might get your way. But if you're angry, it just creates this war that America is heading towards. That's just my opinion. Snoop, let's play some more music. I mean, Ron Banks, my favorite motherfucker. Ron Banks, Snoop put Ron Banks on the song I Lost My Mind. Because beside for Nate, I guess Snoop's other combination that really got me was Ron Banks. Because he died, they didn't even mention his ass. That's why Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ain't shit, because they didn't even say Ron Banks died. That nigga sang Toast to the Fool. He sang In the Rain.
from the fabulous Dramatics. You know what I'm saying? And these was like groups and artists that I was a fan of as a kid. So when I was able to make records, when I was able to make my first record, I told Dr. Dre, I want to get an old school group to sing on my shit, the Dramatics. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want, the whoop wop to the boop wop. I want the Dramatics. It means we got them, and then once I laid it down and we got to meet them, they met my mom, and they was just the coolest dudes in the world. My mom used to go to their concert, be backstage, getting all hook up.
Oh, hell no. Where the hell they at? It was supposed to be here over an hour ago. I got a packed house. Boy, you shut your big hamburger helper grimace with a guitar ass up. It's my club. Oh, there you is. Where the hell you been?
Man, hold on one sec. I've been just checking my game, sliding through the city, you understand me, trying to get my money right.
Yes, I can dig it, Cat Daddy. Why don't you check your ass up on stage then?
Check this out, Tada. You just get out there and you introduce us, and we gonna handle it from there.
You go ahead then, you big old pimp. I got you, baby. Ain't nothing, it's all good.
We got some beautiful people in the house tonight, and we got some ugly ones. Anyway, we'd like to welcome y'all to the Carolina West. My name is Tada. Today we got something old and something new for y'all. We got Snoop Dogg and Dogg, the Dogg Pound, and the fabulous Dramatic.
It's like everywhere I look and everywhere I go, I'm hearing motherfuckers trying to steal my flow, but it ain't no thing, cause see my nigga Coolio put me up on the game when I step through the door.
You know, some of these niggas is so deceptive, using my styles like a contraceptive. I hope you get burnt, seems you haven't learned. It's the knick-knack, paddywhack, I still got the biggest sack, so put your gun away, run away, cause I'm back. Why? Hit 'em up, get 'em up, split 'em up now. Tell me what's going on. It make me wanna holler cause my dollars come in ozones. Known for the break off, so take off your clothes and quit trying to spit at my motherfucking hoes. Speaking of hoes, I get to the point. You think you got the bomb cause I rode you a joint? You's a flea. And I'm the big dog. I scratch you off my balls with my motherfucking paws. Y'all's niggas better recognize and see where I'm coming from. It's still east side till I die. Why X? Why? As the world keeps spinning to the D-O-double-G.
It's a crazy monster world. It's a doggy dog world. It's a doggy dog world.
Well, if you give me 10 bitches, then I'll fuck all 10. See my homie Snoop Dogg sipping juice and gin. Don't slip, I'm for the set trip to get paper. Styles vary, packing flavor like lifesavers. Ain't that something? Talk shit and I'm dumping. I had your whole fucking block bumping. Don't sweat, but check the technique. I'm unique like China. You never find a bomber than this nigga behind you. So peekaboo, clear the way, I'm coming through. 1, 2, 3, you can't see me. I'm a G like that, strapped with hit hard tactics. A fucking menace using hoes like tennis rackets. It's on again, it's on and popping. All I see is green, so there ain't no stopping. I wanna see some panties dropping. I'm coming from LA. She used to chill with Dre up in Compton.
It's your world. It's your world.
The Dogg Pound rocks the party all night till when it don't stop and it don't quit for us. The Dogg Pound click to drop the caddy dope shit. Jazz out of the motherfucking cup, one smoke. So grab a seat and grab your gin, the juice and check out the fluff. I flip flop and serve hoes with the fat dick till I die. I'm still screaming that bitches ain't shit. Now I'm the Mac Daddy, Hattie, not known about the city where I'm from. Dumb diddy dumb as you grew to the gangster shit. The D-O-double-G, the P-O-U-N-D, the gangster click. Now as the pound break it down with the gangster funk. I can see and I can tell us what the fuck you want. So I blaze up the chronic so I can get high. I promise I smoke chronic till the day that I die.
It's a dog, it's a dog, it's a dog. It's a doggy dog world. Just cool. It's a dog.
Then I was like, there's one more piece of my album missing. I want to do a remake of a hip hop song because ain't nobody ever remade a hip hop song, and I want to pay respects to one of the greatest rappers ever. I want to do Lottie Dot. So we redid that, and everybody cleared that, and it was the first time somebody had ever redid a rap song in hip hop as a rapper.
We're gonna have to play that now. But wait, the dramatic song, I'm playing that motherfucker. I love that song. And, you know, I produce, it's how, you know how we get, Snoop, we get a little money and a little bit of influence. I'm going to get the Blue Magic. I made a whole Blue Magic album, nigga, and they played all over the radio.
I need to get that. I need to get that out.
And I made Day by Day over with Chuck Stanley. You remember that? They played that shit on your radio every day. I had a top 10. It was number one. Day by Day. I produced that. Because I just, you know, I had the time, you know, and, you know, everybody was, LL was recording with the LA Posse. Your niggas, Dwayne and them, made.
DJ DJ Pooh Bobcat.
Yep, DJ Pooh, that's your man.
That's my guy. Who produced Super Rhymes?
I produced Dollar Bill Y'all, and I produced, Dollar Bill Y'all was the one that was the Bubble Bunch. I produced them too. But the Super Rhymes record, we found him, and he wasn't getting paid like a lot of artists. What happened with, I was just talking to EPMD, and what happened with EPMD was they was on Sleeping Bag Records, and Sleeping Bag was going bankrupt, so we gave them a bunch of money and signed EPMD. So we had their second album through. Same with Nice and Smooth, their second album through. And Super Rhymes was the same way. Like, he was on the label, he made that big record. I doubt he got paid. And so I got him and produced myself, the Bubble Bunch, and then Dollar Bill Y'all. So, you know, and I worked with him for many years. He worked at the office and all. You know, he checked out. God bless him. You know, rest his soul.
Warren G was so influential of him as a rapper and a writer. I don't know if you can hear that in his lyrics. Like, Warren G was a Jimmy Spicer. Like, all his lyrics, his delivery. This DJ, he gets down, mixing records while they go around with it.
Yeah. Warren G saved Def Jam. Would have been on motherfucking Def Jam. What happened? Well, it would have been because we just it was a moment in my career I was very lucky. Def Jam was down $20 million almost. And then we got somebody that paid like 40. And we bought the half of the company that we had and put a little money in our pocket, and we still was cold. But then came Warren G. And then came Montel Jordan. And then it just, the floodgates opened. Then it just went crazy. Then we just had, you know, LL give us a new album, and we're lucky to get that in the break. And then we get Jay and DMX and whatever. The company start to flourish. But when Warren came, we was ice cold company. And we seen the nigga on, and I was, go ahead.
Warren had the flavor. He had the flavor that we had. It was like, it was the new thing.
Snoop
and he was fresh.
Snoop, listen, when I got Warren G, Suge, God bless Suge, because he was always my nigga. I never had no problem with Suge, but people around me were scared of Suge a lot. But, you know, he never really, you know, they say he was looking for me when I signed Warren, and I went to look for him and talk to him. You know, they said, Snoop, and I remember the little Jerry Black, little record nigga said, I'm Jerry Blavitt, Philadelphia, like he's a mobster, talking to Snoop, because Snoop was talking to me, and Snoop was like, so you signed Warren G? I said, well, the nigga was free. I signed a free nigga, because he wasn't a slave, I signed him, you know, but everybody else around me was scared that them niggas was good, you know. They had Snoop, you were there, Snoop. They had him in their sights on Jamaica Avenue, walking around scaring me. And you know the niggas around me ain't as pussy as me. Them niggas is gangsters. And they had him in their sights. I said, leave him alone. And he don't even know it. He about 2 seconds from getting mopped. But he didn't know it. And you know what? Me and him worked it out. The record went on his soundtrack. And
but
you can avoid conflict, man. Yeah, everybody wanted.
You a player, and that's what I was trying to explain to him at the end of the company before he did his time. I was trying to go see him and tell him, look, let me shake hands with Biggie and Puffy on TV. Let me end this shit. Let me do business with them. Let's figure out a way to where Bad Boy and Death Row can connect. You know, Pac is dead. You know, they trying to lock you up. Let me keep this shit alive. And nigga was like, no, I don't want to hear that. So it was like, to me, that was like the piece the puzzle that made me just say, you know what, I got to start fresh and, you know, take a loss, take a L, a lesson, not a loss.
Yeah, that for all the yogis out there don't know what the fuck that it's in the scripture and they can't read it properly. The L is for a lesson, not a loss. It's in the Bible, the Quran, the Torah too. So he took a L, a lesson, and he had to get, you know, I always say love everybody all the time, but you can't fuck with everybody all the time. Love people from a distance, you know, and that's what you did. That's a beautiful thing. Take a L, a lesson. So I want to play a lot of your music, man. I'm going to play so much of your music. I don't know how many. Stop what? He ain't got to stop nothing. You know, you're such a good person, Snoop. It inspires me. And I want to, again, he's spinning around. I want to thank you for coming on and taking your time to talk to me, man.
Definitely.
There's so much wisdom. I could talk to you forever.
A legend in his own right.
You're a legend. And I'm very thrilled that I can still have you as a friend. It makes me whole when I can have friends that I've known from beginning of their career till iconic stage. Yeah, we lost him. He left.
But here's it. There's always going to be many rappers, but there will always be
only one Snoop Dogg. That's it.
So what, we smoke weed, we're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out, that's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free. So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. And we don't care who sees. So